look, you've read the thumbnail, the title, and if you've watched any one of my videos or a number of my videos, then you know that I'm a pretty forward guy. I don't like to beat around the bush. I love Widows. I think that this is an absolutely amazing film. So let's talk about why. Firstly, before we do that, I want to quickly address that, yes, I've been away from the channel for like 2 weeks, which is not that long, but for me it is. I'm not dead. I just took a bit of a break. I got to watch a lot more films than I usually do. But anyway, let's talk about why Widows is such an amazing film, or why I think it's such an amazing film. And I'm going to try and touch on a lot of different points, but the first one that I want to make is that, in a way, this film feels like a weird amalgamation of some of this year's best films. It has the awesome, well-developed female leads of something like Annihilation. It has this slow, patient intensity and energy of Hereditary or A Quiet Place. It has the raw human emotion on display like A Star is Born. Despite having an ensemble cast, it's incredibly character driven and still manages to have time for these big twists, turns, and just overall surprises like Infinity War. It has these show-stopping sequences like Mission Impossible Fallout, and then on a more literal sense, it has Daniel Kaluuya, who's in Black Panther, and also Cynthia Erivo, who is in Bad Times at the El Royale. So in a weird way, it does actually feel like all the best bits of some of my favourite films this year kind of put together into this one story. And I think so much of this is because of the man himself, Steve McQueen. In my opinion, Steve McQueen is one of the very, very few true auteurs that we have left in Hollywood. He is a true master. And Shame, I think, is just pure art. That film is just masterful. I rewatched it the other day and it blew my mind as it did the first 2 times I watched it. And Hunger is amazing. And so is 12 Years a Slave. And when, I found out that he was going to be making this big heist film with an ensemble cast, I was slightly concerned that, him moving over to with a bigger budget and then, stuff like that. I was just slightly concerned that it was going to be a little bit less Steve McQueen, less artistic, and just a little bit more generic. But no, it isn't. It absolutely isn't. He has brought with him everything that makes his films great and added to it. And one of the incredibly, incredibly welcome additions is Gillian Flynn as the writer, or Gillian Flynn, I don't know how to pronounce it, but oh my god, the characters, the dialogue, everything is just... It's perfect. Honestly, this is how much I love the characters in the world that they've created. I feel like you could just pick 2 random characters from this world, from this film, and you could just make a solo movie about them, each and every single one of them. And part of why I love these characters is because they feel like real people. These are not movie characters. These are people who are flawed, who have been beaten down, who have gone through so much shit in their lives. And really, the entire film is about how they can cope with that, how they can cope with the grief of the loss of their husbands, which is, one of the main themes of the film, but also how they rise above it and how they become some of the most badass characters you will ever see from that. So let's talk about these characters and these performances. Obviously, Viola Davis, nominate her now. Her, Lady Gaga, and Toni Collette, just nominate them now. Top 3 best performances of this year. Look at some of the other widows, like Michelle Rodriguez giving probably her best performance. Elizabeth Debicki, probably her best performance. Cynthia Erivo, blowing my mind yet again within 2 months. She's given 2 amazing performances, right? And then you look at the male cast. Amazing. Colin Farrell, who gives so much depth and dimension to a character who otherwise would feel like just, like a generic plot device. Robert Duvall, who plays a combination of Michael Fassbender from 12 Years a Slave with J.K. Simmons from Whiplash. The dialogue for him is incredibly well written in the sense that he is absolutely savage, but unlike Simmons, he is this incredibly despicable, racist, just horrible person. And Robert Duvall played that so well and gave so much humanity to the character as well. You got Brian Tyree Henry and Daniel Kaluuya. You could literally just make a film about these 2 and it would be amazing. And Daniel Kaluuya, in this film, he shows that he's such a master of bringing this level of intensity to every scene without actually having to say anything. Once you've seen this film, you'll know that whenever Daniel Kaluuya walks into a room, some bad things are going to happen. And it was just amazing to watch. I feel like, though, that a lot of people are going to have... The main issue that a few people might have with this film is that there are too many characters, too many subplots, just too much going on. And my response to that would be that, actually, I think Steve McQueen and Gillian Flynn kind of acknowledged this. I remember watching this one interview where they actually said, at first we had so many ideas that we would be able to do like a mini series off of it. And to be honest, I would love to see a Widows mini series with these actors, but I feel like they've kind of, you know, condensed it down to a film that actually feels really cohesive and really focused. And also a lot of that is because of Joe Walker and the way that he edits these scenes. And of course there are one or two scenes that actually my friend and I who watched this with me, like we realized that there was this one strange scene with Michelle Rodriguez where she goes and meets this guy, and it was kind of out of left field, but at the same time it worked for the character. So that's what I kind of want to say. Like, there are scenes that might feel out of place or kind of unnecessary, but on the grand scheme of things, they do all contribute to the characters, they do all contribute to the story. Also, if you've seen any of Steve McQueen's films, you know that this is a guy who loves doing long takes, and so do I love them. And that's why I really look up to Steve McQueen and cinematographer Sean Bobbitt, who I think is a goddamn master. There are some amazing long takes in this film, there really are. The two that really blew my mind were this one with Daniel Kaluuya, where the camera's like moving around, but it's not like the generic, oh, we're a CW show, let's just move the camera around our characters so it looks energetic and fun. No. The camera work here feels so intentional and almost as if it's moving to the beat of the scene. Incredible. And there's this one other one that a lot of people have already talked about, where they put the camera on the bonnet of a car and it's all happening in real time, and it's just driving from this place of, you know, incredible poverty to Colin Farrell's gigantic house. And it blew me away again. It was subtle, it was understated, it didn't call attention to itself, but it was there, and it was so inventive, and this is what separates Steve McQueen from other filmmakers. Hans Zimmer also did the music for this film. It's alright. There isn't any sort of... I was slightly disappointed that they didn't use his music more. Because there isn't much score here at all. I would say 10-15 minutes of the film's runtime actually have composed music, which is slightly disappointing, because why would you waste Hans Zimmer? And especially considering that Steve McQueen in his last two films have really used music to enhance the scene. At its core, though, this is definitely a character piece. It is a film about people. It is a film about pain, about loss, and how you can come together to overcome that, and as I've said before. And to be honest with you, I don't really think I've seen a heist film with so many characters that is still able to retain that sense of intimacy, that is still able to retain that sense of focus within these characters, you know, because Heat is a pretty action-packed heist film, you know, Ocean's 11 is a pretty overly stylized heist film, and whereas this one is completely grounded, it is completely character-driven. You don't even really know that much about the heist. You know what the characters know, which is very little, which is what makes it fun. And the thing I like about my new style of reviews is that I'm not forcing myself to give a grade anymore. But just for the sake of giving a grade, I don't know. I would love to give this film an A+. I think I would give this film an A+. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if I saw it one more time, it might go down, it might go up. So right now, let's just put it at an A+ or a really high A, which instantly makes it one of the best films of the year. Where does it rank? I don't know. I feel like this year has been really indecisive for me. I don't really know. I feel like sort of like my top 5, top 6. I've got Infinity War up there, Fallout up there, this, Star is Born, Annihilation, Hereditary. So that's 6. But I don't really know where this one ranks. I feel like it could be number 1. I think it could be number 1. I really loved it. Pretty much everything it tried to do, it succeeded and then some. And I think that's really all I could ask for. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this review for Widows. I hope you stay tuned for a very big video essay coming out on Wednesday. I've basically spent the last week or so working on that. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Please stay tuned for that. Thank you.